Okay, I think we're ready.
Sounds good. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. Welcome to Omniversal Escapades, everyone. We're your hosts for this show. I am not the Dungeon Master this time. The honor this time will go to Jeff. We are playing Space Kings. RX is meaning that we do not bring them into the campaign. Our children in peril, depictions of gore, sexual assault, and slavery. Our veils mean we just allude to our body horror and feces. Like I said, we are playing Space Kings. Jeff, if you want to get into that, you can. I'm going to go ahead and actually move this over to Jeff since you're the one running today.
Hey, I am trying to relax cuz my audio is driving me insane. So if my brain shuts down briefly here and there, that's why. So, this is Space Kings. It's an improvisational role-playing game. It is created by Kevin Cole and Super Try Studios. It's designed to play in like groups as large as 17. So
Steve.
that's why the character sheets are very like most of the information is right there on the sheet. So you can create a character pretty quickly. Um, it has its own lore and stuff, but we're just taking the mechanics for today. Everybody uses a deck of cards with
20
both
cards.
jokers in it. So that's 54 cards. And um, you're going to add together on a roll to like resolve an action. You're going to add together the dots in your attribute and in your practices. Uh, and that's how many cards you'll flip. More or less. Sometimes you'll get more, sometimes less. Um, and those are like kind of like a dice pool. So if you get a 10 or higher, you get a success. So the more successes you flip, the more you want. But because you don't shuffle until you've played all 54 cards, you're going to do good sometimes, bad sometimes, and sometimes you know that good things are coming near the very end of your deck or very bad things if you haven't come across the jokers and stuff like that. So let's get started. I made a little flavor text here. All right. We begin with the two of you running down a dusty hillside, being chased by dozens of angry boar people who are angry at you because you took their magical sun-making artifact, which, according to Professor Springfield, is actually a Parlavian star spanner, which affects some species poorly. In this case, it turned them into a mob of cannibalistic boar people spent on sacrificing their neighbors to the almighty Chaos. What do you guys look like as you run down this hillside?
Pat, I'll let you go first.
So, Tallie Vinson is a mole person from Earth right around the 1950s. So she's about 2.5 feet tall on a good day. Kitten heels, obviously. A pretty big old skirt that somehow does not make that much noise when she moves. And her hair is kind of done up, though it's not really got that much ornamental stuff in there. We got to get it moving. So I try not to get too fancy with it, but the situation, the world needs to be pretty, so you got to dress up a little bit.
Sounds good. You notice the professor up ahead waggling her time bracelet. She's trying to summon the portal to the field office. As she runs, the Star Spanner is occasionally sending these embarrassingly, uh, well, it's almost like horny fan fiction into your subconscious. You're trying to focus on the ground ahead of you, but that's going on. Whoosh, the portal appears in front of you, and you all roll into it. Professor Springfield slams into a pedestal and catches a priceless urn before it shatters on the deck. She jumps up, sets it down, and then she taps the bracelet against her temple, which closes the portal with a zwip sound. Then she positions the urn into the correct aesthetic position before activating its stability field. Someone keeps deactivating this stability field. I must put an alarm on that before someone gets hurt. She wanders over to the Zen cabinet and tosses the star spanner inside. She taps a button with her foot and it starts to hum. With a zhworp, the artifact is secure. She spins around, notices you on the ground, and says, "Well, get up. Can't have you laying about when there's work to be done. Didn't you say you had an econ final in the morning?" You're not sure which one of you she's talking to. I don't know if you're students, but if not, she's talking about someone else entirely. She pulls a toasted bagel out of the toaster oven and starts passing it back and forth, going, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, that's hot. Ooh." She picks up a book. The bagel, which is now inexplicably on a saucer and fully smeared with cream cheese, flops down into a hanging chair and starts reading and eating. What would you like to do?
So we've seen her put stuff in there before. I'm probably gonna kind of get myself right again. That was a lot of running, and I did hurt myself a little bit when we got back in there. There was a lot of sliding.
Cool.
I'm going to take off my wide-brimmed hat, and I'm going to like use it to kind of like dust myself off from all the like stumbling in the grass and whatnot that we just went through an adventure, and just kind of like orient himself around the room after running, through time.
Sensible. So how should we describe this room? I guess we could do it together. I'm thinking like nice natural woods, some velvet cushions, but it kind of it sort of listens to your thoughts and feelings, and sometimes will just generate stuff that you like. So if there's any architectural or design features you think would be good, let me know.
I think given their profession as a professor and the fact that the room listens to like our thoughts, that because of the stress of her job, there's probably like stacks of books and paper all over the place, ready for her use when she's ready, but they're not really organized by our standards, only by her standards. And they're just kind of skewed across the room.
Fair, yeah.
Very nice. Well,
And there's an Atari 2600 over there.
ooh, very cool. Oh yeah, and there's anachronistic tech, so you might have an Atari 2600 and like a giant brain flat screen. Whatever that is. Maybe it's
Oh, sorry.
sentient. Who knows?
Wait, we're actually playing in the modern day-ish, so like we can actually go back to our original joke. No, it's not an Atari 2600. It is a Jaguar. The second
Jaguar.
the second best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a Jaguar. That was a
Cool.
gaming console that no one remembers.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. I remember ColecoVision.
You know what? That's funnier because people know what that is. Yeah, it's a ColecoVision. Second best.
Yeah, I had a fancy friend that had one of those.
Nice.
Let's see. Space Kings has this table, like which I can just pull a card and see what comes up. So the situation I've pulled is the Jack of Spades. A small dog has ... Three of diamonds. Invented a new sport. This ought to be fun.
Fantastic.
So the doctor or the professor rather, her pocket starts buzzing, and it's getting louder and louder and louder, and you know she carries a cell phone, but she's like never answers it. It always goes to voicemail. It's really annoying when you're in an emergency trying to call her.
The worst.
She gets back to you the next day.
Like you trying to recall a word that is at the tip of your tongue. You can't remember entirely what it is. You know that she would know it, but she can't won't pick up your phone, so it's just kind of bothering you because you can't remember that word.
You get back, and she's like, "Ah, I knew I forgot to call you back."
Yeah, it's getting so loud now. There's no way she can't hear it, but she just keeps chomping and reading.
I'm gonna point at her pocket where the phone is at.
Okay, she looks down and she looks back up at you with like a "I don't get it" face, and then looks down, looks back up at you. What's the issue?
Okay, real quick, I haven't done my character introduction yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that at the moment. Standing
Please.
standing at 6'3", he's got
Yeah.
curly hair, a red pea coat, a long scarf, a wide brim hat, and he's wearing boots. He has foregone his name ever since doing this job, so he goes by his former profession. He is known as the clinician.
I swear to
All
God.
right. Um,
Just got it.
yeah, you're a counselor from the '60s.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Um, I just mean like, sorry. Your phone's going off. I think you're getting an alarm about another anomaly.
Oh! And she jumps out of the chair and it goes spurling around. And she rummages around in her pants and pulls out like a big mess of flowers. And then goes in again, and out comes like a bunch of handkerchiefs that turn into snakes. And finally, she gets her phone out, and she flips it open, and you see this little virtual thing spin around above it, and she's like peering at it, and you can't quite see it from your position.
Is
It
gonna
just
peer
looks like
over.
a bunch of dots.
Is just gonna like peer over. Does that get Pandora?
Pandora. I met her once. Must have been 7,000 BC. Oh, look! This is where we should go. And she throws it up onto the scanner, and you see it's a news report detailing the creation of a new sport by Puppers McGee, who apparently is a sentient, I don't know, like a short-haired dog with big ears,
Golden
maybe a
Retriever.
French bulldog,
Yeah.
perhaps. And he's kicking this ball around that looks like a big strawberry, and then there's
Fantastic.
football players like jumping on it. Maybe it's rugby. You're not sure.
And the news report, do they give it a name?
Um, yeah, it's called Strawball.
Fantastic. No, what is the dog name? It's complex storyline.
Strawball.
I was like, we was gonna look at the professor like, well, there's nothing in the rules saying that dogs can't play straw ball.
I've been saying for years they should get more fruit in sports.
Yeah.
I've been meaning to meet Puppers McGee for, gosh, several decades. Ever since I heard about the Strawball tournament on the fourth moon of, and she just starts going on a whole run.
Yeah.
You know, lean over towards to Tess's character. Tess, what's your character's name again?
Tally.
I apologize. Tally.
Tally.
Do you Tally? How long do you think she's gonna go on this tangent?
Honestly, I have no idea. I think last time somebody created a new sport, she talked about it for about an hour and a half, which is interesting because she doesn't really like sports.
I know, it's kind of weird. It's like when she found out about hockey ball.
It's not even a ball.
I know, I'm so confused.
Um, let's see.
She's gone over to her sextant and palimpsest. Basically, she has a whole bunch of navigation devices all wired together, and she starts spinning dials and moving the protractor and things.
Does it look like we're headed to where Puppers is?
Ideally, yes, but quite often you don't arrive where you're supposed to.
Yeah, that's fair.
So hopefully.
As she's doing that, he's going the clinician is gonna be like, "Did you carry the one? That did you carry the one?"
This is
Backseat
highly
for
advanced
piloting.
long division. You don't carry it, you ship it via these tubes. And
That
she shows you this marble going down this. It
that just
can't
sounds
possibly be doing anything.
that just sounds like carrying the
I
one
have
with
to.
with more requirements. I mean,
Yeah, she's almost definitely wrong. You did need to call it to carry the one, but she's also doing something else. I need to go grab my charger. I'm so sorry. One sec.
Okay.
Is there anything I can do to help her?
oh,
If I knew we were gonna do that, I would get some water. Damn. I'm pretty excited to go meet this dog.
right.
Apparently, in this game, the dogs live longer than people, which was such a kindness.
No much live longer than their dog.
The thing for the dog species was like they outlive their families. And I was like, that's so beautiful. Like parrots.
Right. Parrots can live up to being 80, which is ridiculously long for any animal, except for a
That's too
tortoise.
long.
Yeah.
Yeah. They found a jellyfish that's immortal.
Yeah, I heard about that. I was just gonna like look over at Professor. Oh, hold on. I wanted to do a character voice for this one. I didn't want to just do my normal voice. Hold on. Professor, are we stopping Puppers McGee from establishing Strawball?
No, of course not. We wouldn't do that. No, I just want to meet him and see how he came up with the idea for the tournament and the league. So many different aspects of the popularization of the sport. I think 3 years into his career should be just about the right time. How about the week before the
Strawball.
Interplanetary Pony Cup?
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, who wouldn't know
That
about the
sounds like a
Pony Cup?
perfect time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember the
Well, we
Pony
Yeah.
watch it
Cup.
every year.
Mm-hmm.
They put on fancy hats. It's great.
Yep. I'm
She
going to.
says, "Hold on to your butts," and then she pushes a button, and the whole room shakes up and down.
I'm clutching onto whatever surface is nearest to me.
Cool.
It's
Yeah.
probably the leg of a table or something.
I'm putting my hat back on,
Nice.
and
Okay, the room stops shaking and wobbling, and a cuckoo clock goes off, and a little German dance and singing happens. And it's
Oh, yeah.
time for the portal to appear, and it's wobbling near you.
Can we see through the portal to the other side, or is it a kind of intermediary in there?
Yeah, you got to dial some, I don't know, weird looking periscope lollipop situation.
Classic.
And
Yeah.
it tunes everything in, and you can see it's maybe some kind of space station or top of a skyscraper or something, but it looks kind of grimy, and there should be like, well, you don't see any sign of people, but you see like a field and some strawberry balls on a rack, and then one in the middle. But there's no people.
I'm gonna stick my face through the portal.
Okay, you've tried this before, and it doesn't quite work out. It sucks you through and then throws you over into a cartwheel, and you land on your butt.
That's for you, as that one was for you.
The professor is like, what's your name, Dean?
The clinician.
Oh, clinician. Goodness. She grabs her big coat and galoshes and tromps out the door or through the portal.
Yeah, I head out there too. I feel like this is not the first time you've just stuck your head through a portal. So I'm like, yep, all right, well, we're in now.
So
Okay.
she puts her fingers under her suspenders and spins around. The portal goes away. And she goes, let's play Strawball! And there should be crowds, and you see like there's popcorn buckets tipped over. There's like batons and pom-poms, like there should be cheerleaders. You see like a retainer and a couple mouth guards on the field, towels everywhere, Gatorade like thing tipped over, space Gatorade, of course.
Space
Raid,
Power
yeah.
Aid. Space Power Aid.
Yeah.
Power
Space
space.
Powerade.
Yeah.
Space
And
Raid.
yeah, you see like buildings in the distance and streamers and a big sign that says first 3-year celebration of Strawball, new league forming. So yeah, it looks like everybody was partying and have a good time and then took off.
I would
Yeah.
say that we are late to the party, unfortunately. The Strawball finals have happened. Not the strawberries. We missed the strawberries.
Oh, nuts.
First annual Stroobs.
Yeah.
She trumps onto the field and starts investigating. She picks up a mouth guard and runs her scanning device over it.
I think
Yeah,
you're
it kind of looks like everyone left in a hurry. Or just got drunk and left.
or their dentist came by and they didn't want to know that they had left their retainers behind.
Ayo.
You hear somebody hollering in the distance.
Yeah.
I'm coming
Start towards them,
there.
yeah.
I'm going there. That's what I meant to
Okay.
say.
You tromp across the field. She looks up and she says, "What was that?"
We're running towards it now. That's what he's yelling as
Why
he's
would
running.
you do that? I've got this really important mystery. And she tromps on behind you. This guy is running. He runs like through the gate towards the field, and he goes, "Help, please! Please, I'm being chased by giant space bees!" And then this swarm of scary purple and yellow bees descend on him and like fuck him up real good and then take off in a totally different direction. And he's just writhing on the ground.
I'm gonna go over. Can I attempt to treat him for his poisoning? I am a clinician.
Of course, absolutely.
What do I need to do in order to treat him?
So you add your medicine. Is it biology? Let me pull up.
You also have your med pack. I don't know if you want to use it on him, but 3 uses.
Okay. I'm showing the viewer this character sheet here. So let's see, your intelligence, I believe, plus your biology.
Okay.
It tells you how many cards you get.
Intelligence of 3, and my biology is 4, so 7 cards.
7. Okay. And if you want, we could. Well, we'll do it. We'll do that later.
I
We
could
won't
help
use an
if you
ultimate
want,
on this
but
guy.
I can. If
I
there's
don't
any way I can help.
think there's an assist function in this game, unless you came across one.
Yeah, it looked like there was one.
I know you can donate drive to them.
Oh, and I'm going to go ahead and I guess use one use of the medical kit, so I get an additional +1.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it'll
Sometimes
be
2
8
or more
cards.
characters want to work together to accomplish a task. This is called helping. If it requires multiple skills like prying open a door and hacking a computer simultaneously, it can be spread across 2 characters. So I guess this wouldn't necessarily need 2 characters. If the task is to encourage, coach, or otherwise assist, the helper flips an appropriate helping action, depending on what I'm helping to do. So I'm not sure if that would really be useful here, but
Oh, I know how I've done this before. Somebody does a help, they do a flip, and if they get extra cards over whatever difficulty I assign, then that gives more cards to the person's next roll or next flip.
okay.
I think that's how that works. The acting player gets a bonus to their flip equal to the number of successes flipped by the helper. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of like doubling. So how would you help?
I'm if he's using the med pack, I'm grabbing everything out of there that he needs, depending on how this guy's hurt, the medicine or gauze or whatever. And then I'm trying to keep the guy calm because he's already freaking out, and that does not help when you're trying to get someone right.
Okay, so let's call that charm and persuasion.
All right.
Okay, so for me, how do I know what's a success and a failure for these card flips?
A 10 or higher. So 10 or face card.
Okay.
Or ace.
And I get 8, so I'll just name them off as I go for the first one. 6, failure. 4, another one. Okay, king, that's 1 out of 3. And I have 8, so I got 5 more to go. Queen.
Is it
3.
the Queen of Hearts?
I move
Gotta
it
keep an
back?
eye out for her.
It was the Queen of Hearts, yes.
Okay,
Sweet.
so that's 3 because you get your charm times 2 plus 1.
Okay. There we go. Move that back. And there was a 3 that didn't count. There was a 2, so that didn't count. That would be all that thought. I'm at 6. I got to do 2 more. Jack. So another success, and then I got 1 last, and king. So 5 successes.
Nice. And then I've got no and no. So no extra from me.
Okay. Well, you kicked ass. This person has been stabilized long enough to talk, but it may not save them completely. And he's going, "You have to help my family. They're trapped in the robotic laser lounge to get away from the space bees. But there's something much worse in there with them."
Not the robotic space lounge. Oh no.
Yes. Why is that bad? And then he dies.
Oh, it's not great. They just charged too much.
He's
Well,
melting into a greenish soup.
Yeah, he's you're just telling this soupifying man about your experience at this bar. Nice. Well, you've been there. Is that the same direction that the bee came from?
Are you
I think
talking to
he's-
the professor?
I am talking to the clinician.
I don't think
If
you've
he's
ever
actually been there.
here. No, I think it's just the professor.
Oh, maybe it's
who
a
wanted to
chain.
go here. I don't know
Okay.
if any of you 3 have been here.
The robotics lounge is a chain. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any sort of? Yep. Go ahead.
No, I was just say no. I was the robotic space lounge on 23rd and 2nd, not that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
The professor
can we pull
gives
up
you like a
the
"you're
map?
not helping" look, and she says, the Robotic Laser Lounge was founded in 5,428 Blarg's year.
Right. Who doesn't
you wouldn't
remember
know
that
anything
year?
about this, clinician. I wish you would quit pretending you know everything. It's quite frustrating.
I'm staying out of
Anyway,
it.
it
I'm just
should
looking
be
at the ground.
fine. I wonder if lots of people are hiding there. If only I could tune my handy scan. And she's like doing some business.
Now, I do have a suggestion, and hear me out here. We might be able to solve this issue regarding the scan. What we do is we go to that lounge and we look through their window.
Brilliant. Let's do it. I wonder if they have sky scooters here. And she tears ass down the street.
Yeah, we'll follow
What?
her.
Yeah, like like a slightly slower pace than her. Like, why do we work for her again?
I'm hustling, but my legs are really small, so I'm not going that fast. But you can tell that I'm like trying to follow at a good pace. Um, well, I mean, we got to figure out what's happening with these giant bees. But also, sometimes I ask myself, but in this moment, that's not the question I'm asking myself. So let's go.
It's the dental, isn't it? The dental is pretty good.
Well,
Do you want me to pick you up? Would it be faster, more and better for you to be picked up?
it might be. Are you going so leisurely that you are going slower than me, or are we going the same speed?
I mean, we're going the same speed, but
Yeah.
I do have longer legs than you, so like pace wise, I could go
Yep.
faster.
No, pick me up. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
Okay, you see her trying to put all manner of weird coins into a coin slot to summon a space scooter, sky scooter. And three of them pop out of these little containers in the ground and give out like a nice hungry purr of a motorbike, but they're not. It's
Sweet.
just like a speaker.
Did you use the Manuel Miranda coin?
Oh yeah, and space laundry tokens.
Yes, I remember the space laundry, Matt.
Yeah, you remember we fought those faceless gorgolons?
Of course. Who doesn't remember our adventures against the Gorgolons?
Those
That was quite a
cursed
day.
gorgolons! Come on, I've got blue. So your choices are pink or purple.
Don't worry, I will choose the very obvious option. You, Tally, you can have purple.
Thank you. I was gonna ask for purple.
All right. And these are sized small enough that a French bulldog person can ride them. So you're kind of
You-
having to like stick your butt out to get your like hands down low enough to work the levers. So it looks fun as you fly through town. Now, the space bees make a lot of noise, so I'm gonna see if you guys notice them coming.
Real quick, as we're flying, by the way, we.
Um, yeah, I was gonna see if we could do anything to get rid of the added in post hum to those to try to make them seem like motorbikes. But if we're already gonna wee, then I'm not gonna worry about it.
Yeah, the professor's like, yeehaw! And she does a little loop de loop. These things
I've
are
got
not
little riding
designed for
gloves
that,
on.
so she almost goes
No.
flying.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, the clinician's gonna like do a 360. Look, Tally, I did a barrel roll.
That's really good. I'm weaving a little bit. I'm having fun with it.
Nice. So yeah, it's like the title sequence of Futurama for a minute. And now I need a listen check. What would this be? Investigation and intelligence to hear the noises of the city. You can hear like alarms going off, fire hydrants spewing unnecessarily, whatever was being done, and then suddenly got stopped being done.
I got 1 success.
Same.
Okay. Let's see how the professor does. 2 successes. So yeah, you guys are just moving along, completely oblivious, and then the professor shouts at you, "Space bees!" And then she dives down low to go into what looks like maybe a parking garage.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'll follow after.
dive.
Okay, yeah, you dive into this parking garage, and she hits a button with her magic button, and the fucking cage comes down, whatever that big door that clacks down to close the parking garage. And you just see those space bees hit the thing and moving around, but they're too big to get through the gaps.
As we're there, I was like, all right, you all prepare to behave.
Ha, that's a good one.
Thank you. Thank you. I want to tell a better joke, but I can't. I'm a bit behind on them.
I thought you were going to say you couldn't be bothered.
I thought of that before, yes.
All right, enough with that buzz. Are there any other exits?
Bazinga! Is that something?
Boom.
There you go. Good job,
Yes.
Prof.
That's why we
The
stay.
professor's about as good with puns as I am. Okay, she says, well, we're not going to be able to go back out. So we're going to have to find a map. There should be tunnels between these buildings. If we could find some kind of security office. So she starts herring off towards an elevator.
Great. I'll go in a different direction and go scouting for a security office.
Okay, yeah.
We're in a parking garage, right?
Yeah.
Is the whole thing enclosed by the metal doors, basically? The metal netting doors?
Yeah, there's little windows, but they're all like blocked out, like security grating.
Okay, so if this is not a thing in your area, I apologize, but in most parking garages I've been to, it's pretty open air. Now the sides
Right.
probably have covering, but you could probably also just like fly out of the top of the building.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. You think there's some kind of space bee security system, and that's why it's all locked down except for the front door?
Well, there's nothing people like less than getting space bee on their cars when they park them.
Exactly. That's a lot to clean up.
It's a mess.
The professor goes, "Eureka! I found it!" So one of you's going up, one of you's going down, and you both hear that. And Dean, you see the space bees like hammering it. Instead of a security grate over the window, there's like somebody boarded it up with wood, and they're just tearing that shit to pieces.
Do you think whoever put that there, it was a little bit bored? I'll tell this truth.
There's no one there to
drone. In space, there's no one. There's no one in space to hear you groan.
Yeah.
Okay, you get your professor whine on your cell phone. She like put a thing in there that basically is like, "Hi, it's me, the professor. You should answer this." It's like a ringtone.
I don't know why I allowed her to put that on my phone, but
it takes so many tries.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer the space phone. The Samsung Galaxy.
She's like, "I found the security office. Get back here."
On my way.
Yeah. I head back once I hear her yelling, so I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You reconvene. She's found some door, ran down a corridor. You see another door is open, and she's got some light jazz playing on the whatever machine. And you run in there and you see the professor has found a map and she's printing them off and hands each one of you one. And it's the secret underground escape network for Poundtown Station.
Classic.
Nice. Professor Tallie, you missed it. I made a board joke. I made a pun.
Why'd you make a board joke?
Because it was boarded up, you know. Someone was
Boards? Like out of wood?
Yeah.
And then you hear as the space bees are coming, and she's like, "Did you leave the door open?"
No. But the door is open.
Let me slam it.
Okay. Yeah. So now you're trapped in this office with a wooden door between you and the space bees.
Where is the nearest? You said it was underground tunnels. How far do we have to get into the tunnel system from here?
We go to the fire stairs down to the bottom, through this chamber, and there's some kind of secret door here, and that'll take us to a long ramp down to the bottom, and then from there. So all we need to do is get into this hallway, down to the fire stairs. But there's giant space bees out there.
Yeah.
The clinician's gonna take a moment to think. I have an idea.
What is it?
Why don't we time travel like 4 minutes in the past and just take that route back before the bees pop up?
You know I can't do frivolous time travel operations.
Look, I know
It's
time
a very
is
sensitive device.
I know that time is very wibbly wobbly, but like, you know, I think not dying is pretty not frivolous. He's struggling like I am on screen. Just
You're gonna have to persuade her. The presence
oh boy.
and presence and what?
Persuasion.
Persuasion.
Oh boy. Well, there goes nothing. I mean that because I only have one in presence. See, if for future reference, when people watch this, they're gonna probably wonder the same thing, right? I just said that as like kind of a joke, so it could happen. If I fail, which I probably will, it's a very good indication as to why we didn't do it. So, in case you're wondering, all right, I'm gonna shuffle it, and then I rolled an ace. So what?
Out of how many cards?
I have nothing in persuasion. I only have one in presence, so one.
Would you like to use drive? I know you only have 3.
No, like if it's a failure, I think I'll just accept it because narratively, it's the equivalent of why didn't the Eagles just take them to the Mount Doom? It's like you're removing some of the storytelling if you do it. I think I'm okay with
Nice.
failing.
Yeah, she looks at you and she gives you a look that says all of that, but she doesn't like to get too meta if she can avoid it.
All right, geez, fine. Does anyone have some honey
Honey?
with their bees?
Space honey?
Let me check.
I don't feel like that would help.
Hey, I do happen to have some honey. And she pulls out this big oversized tube with like a plunger. And it's purple.
Oh, wait, is that space bee honey? Why is it purple?
Oh, this is for putting on Zyblonian pancakes.
I did not mean to stump you with that question, Jeff. I am so sorry.
They're very big, so you need a plunger to shoot them.
What if we were to take your plunger full of purple honey and shoot them in the eyes? It won't harm them, but it will temporarily blind them.
There's so many of them, though. If we had some way to diffuse the splooge.
Don't love that word, Reese.
I don't get it.
Let's just not say that again.
I'm in my head. I'm just saying it to the same vibe as the juice is loose, but it's very different.
She starts rummaging around this office looking for something that can separate honey droplets into a fine mist.
Is there a sorry, I'm go ahead, Tess.
I was gonna say if this is a place where space bees are often, they may have something to get rid of them, like a smoke bomb or the equivalent, because it's a security office. There's a high likelihood they won't, but can I also go rummaging?
Yes, investigation and wit, because
Uh,
time is of
Alright.
the essence.
Dude, I'm gonna look around the room. I have an idea as well, just in case. Is there a box fan?
There is a box fan.
What if you were to spray the honey into the box fan?
She's like, that would be interesting.
I mean, it's the same. It's dispersing the honey in droplets, so to speak, towards the bees. Or if Tally's idea, if we find smoke, we can use it to move the smoke.
I've got
What'd you
one. I
get?
got one success. If I can use my explosives practice, it would potentially be more, but potentially be the same. But I am investigating, not actually trying to arm explosives. So, one.
One.
It's a
Do
king
you
though,
use
so
any
it's a really strong
drive to
one.
get another one?
Yeah. Does drive just let me pull another card, or is it an automatic success?
Yeah, you just spend one and pull one.
Just
There's
spend
also
one and pull
hero
one.
points. I don't see them on here. Oh yeah, all the way at the
Yeah,
bottom.
they're at the
You both
bottom.
have 2 hero points. You can spend one to give yourself 2 successes. Did you use any drive?
Um, I marked the drive, but I haven't pulled the card yet, so I think I might use a hero point instead to get 2 automatic successes. So three
Okay.
successes looking for some sort of uh, classic weapon against them, something
Cool.
that
Yeah.
we know works. Yeah.
You find a cleverly stashed armory box and you pop that open and you see in there is an anti-robot gun and what do you call it? Anti-riot foam
Fair.
and 4 smoke grenades.
Yeah, I mean, robots stealing cars is such a common thing around here. So that makes sense. Yeah, do we want to try using the smoke bomb or I mean we can go straight for the anti-riot, but I feel like that's likely to be less effective. Bees famously, smoke is not, well, they love smoke. They fall asleep. That's their whole thing.
I do have an idea. What
Okay.
if we did both? Use the smoke to cause them to fall asleep, and then use the riot foam to get them to stay where they're at. That way they're not
Um,
pursuing us.
yeah, that's fair. I don't really know how long the smoke would keep them asleep for. That is true. Um, let's start with the smoke. Yeah.
Okay, so you look over and the professor has put together this weird bazooka looking thing with a box fan on the end of it, a slot where you screw in the smoke grenade, and another slot where you sploosh the honey.
That wording.
And then the foam thing is like it's like a fire extinguisher you put on your back
Yeah.
and like a I don't know, a Ghostbusters nozzle.
Yeah. So
So one of you can have that, and she'll have the smoke
the
goo
flame smoke thrower.
atomizer.
Yeah.
We had maybe 10 minutes. We were talking for maybe 10 minutes, and you made that bazooka.
Oh, easy peasy. I'm always having to lash things up with whatever's handy.
10 minutes
You
felt
see, there's like an
generous.
old baseball mitt in there. It's all kinds of weird stuff.
All right, let's do
Makes
this.
sense to me. Let's do this.
Okay, the door explodes open. Who wants to use the foam?
See, now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tess, and I do not mean this as a slight against your character's height, but I would imagine that since this is a pack generally meant for, I'm assuming humans, the pack itself is probably taller than Tessa's character.
Oh, it would
Uh,
throw me back for sure. The
yeah,
recoil would absolutely throw me against the wall.
yeah. So I think I'm the one running the foam here with.
I've made that mistake before, okay?
Okay, so she says, I'll shoot him high, you go underneath. Tallie, because you're small.
Th-
That way, even if both of us die, you'll get clear.
Yep. Bees fly, they're high up. I'm low down.
Very
And
true.
hold on to the map, because if we die again, you can go save the family.
Yep. I make sure that theirs are both in their pockets or whatever, and I have mine at the ready. I'm basically ready to sprint once these guys go down.
Okay, yeah, so the door explodes inward. She turns on the thing. Let's see how well she built it.
And I'm going to shoot the riot foam.
Hell yeah. Let's see. The riot foam will give you, what would this be?
So-
Agility and
Probably firearms.
firearms. Yeah.
Can I make a counterpoint to that though?
Please.
Because because I do have telekinesis. Could I, in theory, just pull the trigger to release it, but then use the telekinesis to direct the foam instead?
Brilliant. That's perfect. So she holds him back with the honey smoke, and they're getting all splattered. And then you foam them down, and now you can run through them without getting stung. And they're like
Sweet.
clunking around the hallway.
Excellent.
Well, let's do it.
Quick, back onto
Okay.
the sky scooters.
Hop on my side scooter.
No, you're going to the fire stairs to.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yes, yes,
But-
yes.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, you rush down the fire stairs. So normally on an elevator we have a chat. So this is your chance to have a little chat as you go down the stairs.
So, how about that straw ball tournament, huh?
Oh
Oh, I
gosh,
wish
it would have been
we've been
great.
able to see it.
Kelly, do you want me to pick you up again?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We're gonna pick up Kelly.
I'm looking at the map while you guys are going down the stairs.
Nice. It's got little flecks of foam on it.
Yeah. I wipe those off with my sleeve. I don't know what it's going to do to my skin, so.
Nice. Yeah, you get to the bottom door. She kicks it open and weaves her box fan weapon around, but no sign of the space bees. And you all get down into the tunnel complex.
Sweet.
I'm going to close the door. I'm gonna do the important thing here. I'm closing the door behind us.
Mm-hmm.
Very wise. Okay, so you're running down these tunnels.
I'm
pull
pointing
something
out the
else
directions. Yeah.
on this sheet to see if there's any fun stuff that might happen. Let's see here. 9 of spades.
Dogs have come up with yet another sport while we've been down here.
That's right.
They're
Dogs
gaming
have-
on us.
Okay, you guys get to the base of the correct tower, and this one you see some guards with guns are surrounding this person with a big purple hat, and they're being assailed by bees. And you see a bunch of bees like scattered around, dead, and they're like blue goo all around them. And these guys, and one of them's gun stops working, and he's like, "Oh no!" And they might be running out of ammo soon. You see one of the bees like starts to go over to the purple hat guy, and that one pushes him down and hits it with the stock of his weapon.
Okay, so real quick to make sure they're facing out against the space beast and the purple hat guy, or them
They're
both.
protecting the purple hat guy.
Okay.
These are like your standard black suit wearing bodyguard types.
I want to pin the bees with some of the right foam, but I'm gonna do it in bursts and use the telekinesis just to kind of like shoot
Nice.
them, basically.
Aim it, yeah.
Okay, so agility and telekinesis.
Okay. Seconds. For my character here. My agility is 3. Thank God. And telekinesis is 4. So 7 cards.
Yeah, and I'll give you +1 for the foam gun.
Okay. I'm gonna reshuffle then. So that means I have to get 8. So first 9. So no. No. Jack, there's 1 success. That's 4. That was 4. Right. Sorry. This is why physical dex are important in this game. Okay, yeah. So 4 out of 8. So I've had 1 success. 5. So I've had 2 successes. 6, 7. I got a king. So 3 successes, and then 4. So I've had a total of 3 successes.
Okay, so three bees drop. What's everybody's initiative? I see
4.
5 from Tess and a 4 from Dean. So this will be a surprise round against the bees. Tess, what would you like to do?
If we're already deciding that we're staying there, I want to use my throwing knife to try to take one of them out. Probably I don't want to endanger anyone, so I want to go at one that's not between me and Purple Hat and the guards, but rather one that's off to the side, but still an issue, so I don't have to worry about, missing and hitting someone we don't want to hit.
Okay.
So it's not as helpful, but I also am less likely to hurt someone, which I will take.
Cool. So you circle around a bit and hurl a knife. Let's see what
Yeah.
happens. That'd be melee and agility +1.
Mm-hmm. 1, 2.
Oh, I forgot.
3.
When you have total health,
It's an extra
you get
1, right?
+1 card.
Oh, that's
Sweet.
right.
So
I
I'm
don't think that's on the
doing
character sheet. I forgot to
5.
mention that.
Okay, so we've got no.
When you're uninjured,
Yes.
you get injured when you take more than a third of your hit points.
That is 1 success.
1 success. All right, you take down 1 bee. That leaves 6. Now the bees all turn and look at the
fair.
two of you, and the mayor and his guards start retreating back to the center of this area where like a whole bunch of light is coming out of something or other, and they're kind of retreating back there. And these 5 bees look at the two of you and go,
Is that after being foamed and knifed?
yes, yeah.
So there's 5 remaining after that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
The smoke might help. The
yeah.
honey smoke.
Hey, prop. How's that smoke zuka going?
Oh, it's a little clogged. And she's banging on it, and she's like blowing on the end, and she gets a puff of honey on her face. She's like, so she's gonna try to. Oh no. She got 2 jokers. Jokers are bad in this game, and she got 1 success. So,
What do the jokers do for me, the person playing, and
Some
also our
bad.
audience?
let's find out what jokers do.
It looks a little bit like a chaos card. Also, I haven't had the opportunity since you said that the honey goes on pancakes, but Interstellar House of Pancakes. Thank you.
That's a good one.
Very
That
nice.
was a good one. Yeah.
Intergalactic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, waiting to strike in every deck are at least 2 jokers. These represent mayhem, drama, and unexpected twists of fate. Jokers don't take away successes from an action. They merely cause undesirable side effects based on your action and the host's discretion. There are opportunities for hosts to raise the stakes for the players. Players should both fear and anticipate the jokers. Hosts are encouraged to acknowledge their players' intent, but add their own spicy twist to the outcome. On rare occasions, 2 or more jokers may be revealed. These grant the host opportunities to have something super duper bad happen. In our sessions, when 3 jokers are flipped for the same action, somebody has to die. Okay. So the doctor smoked one bee, but as the last puff goes out and is mixed with some like drywall and pollen and skin flakes, whatever was in the box fan, that comes out like all at once because it got glommed to the honey, and it hits the bees' anger centers and transforms them into giant 4-armed death killer robot bees.
Not the robot bees.
She's gonna be like
That's not good at
standing
all.
there, staring at the robot bees. It's like, are you sure you don't want to travel back like 2 minutes?
Ask me again in 2 minutes. The bees are making a really horrible buzzing sound, and one of them
3.
says, "Unlawful mixture of organic and non-organic ingredients. Destroy source of toxins."
They talk
and they
now.
all charge the professor.
They talk now.
That's
This
not
is
good.
bad. Yeah.
Well, now they're robots.
Yeah. Well, that's
They've
true.
got 4 arms.
Robots. Robots. We gotta make sure we acknowledge them as they are. Dog, are you sure you don't want to travel back in time? Okay. I get it.
Tess, you have the highest initiative, so
If the smoke canister is out and the smoke was helping at least a little bit before, I want to use my turn to re-up, kind of reload with the new canister.
the smoke, isn't that her thing? Isn't that her device?
When it is her device, so I would have to just go over to I'm assuming it's on the back of it and just be like boop 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 boop. Like a new
and
CO2
put in
canister
another
for
smoke grenade.
yeah, like when your like when your
it.
paintball gun runs out, yeah.
Yeah, you spool out the old grenade and shove in the other one. Crack! And all of a sudden it just fires up and smoke billows out, and now you're just in a fog cloud, essentially.
Sweet.
You
Well,
can't see anything and you're coughing.
well, neither can they, so.
Last thing you saw was the 4 mega bees, and behind them, the mayor and his people were doing something.
He's gonna cough and just be like, I don't know if are you sure time turtle is no longer on the table? um uh sorry. I don't want to take a shot because I may hit the wrong person. I think he's just gonna kind of like wait to like to give it a D&D version, like hold an action basically, but basically he's just like waiting to be able to see anything before he takes a shot or does anything really, because he can't see
Okay,
anything.
so if something comes through the fog, you'll punch it?
Yeah, if it's a bee, I'll shoot it with the riot foam.
Or you could punch it in the
Okay.
nose like a shark. Maybe that works.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Let's see if the bees can find you. I'll give them 4 cards.
Now, can I be a nerd for just a second? Bee sense based off of like what's the term? The heat. what's the term I'm
Smoke
saying?
would mess with that. Smoke is hot.
Yeah. So like to find us, it would be kind of hard because there's a lot of heat around us
Okay,
from
I'll
the
take
smoke.
one card off each.
Why do I do infrared? Not infrared.
Okay.
I'm sure there's somebody who's gonna watch this later who's like really into bugs and is gonna correct me. I'm sure, but I don't care that much.
Okay, so 2 of them get through. How should I decide who they attack? Hold on. 1 and 2, it's Tess. 3 and 4, it's Dean. 5 and 6, it's Professor Violetta. Okay, it's Dean. One of them attacks you, and the other attacks the professor. So I'll have them be -1. And how do I determine if it hurts you? What's your dodge?
3.
3. Okay, so 1 damage to you and 2 to the professor. I'll burn the professor's dodge. So you could scrub that damage with 1 dodge or just take it.
Go just take it right now.
I don't suppose you got anti-bee armor.
Oh yeah, totally. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Didn't put it on today. Yeah.
Yeah, it's back at the professor's house.
Okay, so all these claws are coming your way and you're narrowly dodging them. And you hear the doctor or the professor throw the device onto the ground, and just more smoke billows out. And they go, "Run to the mayor!" Or, I mean, the purple hat person. They don't know it's the mayor yet. Or maybe she would, but you don't.
I will run towards the mayor.
Famously, mayors wear large purple hats on this planet, so that makes sense.
Right.
Okay, I'll see if the bees can tell which way you went. Okay, Tess, on your way to the mayor, you get attacked by a bee. It does nothing. And the doctor is fine. Okay. You burst out of the cloud of smoke, and you see that the purple hat person is actually a very large lady with a big rosy-cheeked face, and she is banging on the side of this glass container that all the light is coming out of, and her goons are banging into it with the butts of their rifles. Goons, I mean her bodyguards. And she says, "Help me with this!"
How damaged is the glass?
It's pretty cracked.
Can I do like a telekinetic burst to just like finish off the?
Hell yeah.
Do you need me to roll anything?
So as you're doing that, the doctor says, "Wait, aren't you worried about the artificial sun releasing?" The glass erupts and the light doubles and triples in brightness, and you get those blinky purple spots behind your eyelids, and you hear the bees all like shaking around and getting all wobbly and confused. And then the mayor says, "Run! Follow me!"
Following that mayor.
Okay.
Based on
she says,
the
"We
map,
have
does
about
it look
30
like...
seconds to get out of this room."
What'd you say, Tess?
Oh, I was going to say, based on the map, does it seem like the mayor's headed towards where we were headed towards? Doesn't
Yeah,
matter. We're gonna follow the mayor,
if you
but
leave
yeah.
this power chamber, you can
Mhm.
get to one of the outer stairs.
Okay.
Which go up around the outside of this sort of like, I don't know, mushroomy shaped tower.
Sweet. Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so you blast through the outer doors, and the goons close the door, and then you hear this whoom, and light comes real shiny around the frame of the door, and the door like shakes, and the hinges get kind of red as they heat up really hot, and the professor is like, "We better get out of here," and grabs you by the collars and starts dragging you away.
You know we can walk,
Okay.
right?
Walk faster!
I can't. You're dragging me.
Okay. So the mayor is huffing and puffing beside y'all, and you see the door is starting to like melt into itself. So apparently whatever chain reaction happened is continuing to develop.
Did we just set up our nuclear reactor? You got to be honest with me. Did we just set up a nuclear reactor?
Oh no, that's just the artificial sun system 83480. That's how hot it gets inside the glass. The
Oh,
professor's like,
Okay.
"Oh, that's a really interesting design. I haven't seen that put in use before." "Oh yeah, we discontinue it in a couple of years." "Oh, I wouldn't know that because I'm not a time traveler." "Never mind."
that was pretty specific what you just said. I feel like you might be a time traveler.
Some charlatan came into town and told him.
If we just released an artificial sun, did we basically just like Chernobyl hit your city?
She's like, "Well, we've been doing some studies, and they found, according to the manufacturer, that it's not actually that likely, even if the glass is cracked. Of course, they didn't say anything about the effect of space bees."
I will say this. I've never looked more tad.
All right. So you're going up the side of this building, and you find some elevators, and the professor is like, "You shouldn't use elevators in a danger situation like this." And the mayor's like, "Oh, fiddlesticks," and runs in, and the bodyguards are like running in.
What floor are you going on? Where are you going? What floor?
"Oh, to the top. That's where everybody's hiding."
All right, we'll see you there. I'm going to take the stairs.
Okay, nice. So
This is it.
halfway up, the elevator shoots past you, and then it like and it stalls out
Yeah.
high above you as the power goes out and all the lights turn out, and then all the lights turn out in all the buildings around this building, and then all the buildings that you can see, and then the lights that show on the outside of the dome, like where you can fly or whatever, like those all turn off, and it's really dark.
See, this is why you should listen to the professor when they say things like that.
I don't think the elevator was necessarily the cause.
No,
It's an
no,
unfortunate effect.
The
no.
elevator plummets past you.
Well,
That's
there
not
went the
good.
mayor. I can't do anything about that.
The professor's like, "Oh no."
You seem so torn.
"You think they'll be okay?"
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, darn.
You seem so
Well-
torn up about this.
Well, you can't say everyone. Can't save everyone, and those safety rules are there for a reason.
Yeah, it's not like we can.
Absolutely.
It's not like we can rewind the situation and go back and solve this issue.
She pulls 3 miner's helmets out of her bag and hands each of you one, plops one on her head.
Sweet.
Yep. This is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys keep going up the stairs, and on the glass outside you see like different swarms of space bees, just like
Oh
they have
god.
a faint luminescence in their
Mm.
eyes and on the edges of their wings, and
Mhm.
you notice them like massing. Different swarms are meeting and like swirling just outside the glass of your tower staircase thing.
So they seem to be aware that everyone's in this tower.
You don't know if they know for sure that you're in there because it's dark, and surely they can't smell you from out there.
Yeah.
But maybe they can see you moving, or your
Does
miner's lights maybe are attracting them.
does anyone have a giant newspaper?
The professor rummages around in her bag, and she's like, "Well, the biggest one I have is this." And she whoosh, whips it open, and it just unfolds several times until it's like 6 feet on a side.
So eventually we can probably light that on fire and use the smoke to escape. That's the reason why I was bringing that up.
Oh, I thought you were hoping to
You
swat him with
can't.
it, and I was like, that would only work on medium size.
Tally, that is so
This
smart.
newspaper tells you all the news stories taking place on West Harblanus
Is it not?
47
Is it not a monthly
from
edition?
from the Trogdor Galaxy. Yes. Look,
Did-
that's my friend Bill. He's riding a
Look,
Flargon.
look. We're all curious about the sport finals, all right. But sometimes you have to get rid of a newspaper. You'll get to the next one monthly. Also, they might have a website. Just saying.
Oh, I didn't consider that.
Yeah.
They have moved on with the times. Surely they have an internet you can fold up in your bag.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
order
something.
something. And she pulls out her phone and starts ordering.
Yeah, make sure you just pull it up from Splamazon.
She hands you the newspaper and you keep running.
Or roll it up. It was like, Tally, your idea was way smarter than mine. Giant newspaper to swat them away is such a better idea.
This is a medium newspaper for medium of me's, not a giant for giant bees.
I know, but we'll keep that in mind if you come across medium bees.
There.
All right,
Glad
you
I can
get to
help.
the top floor, metal door into the area, and you hear people on the other side.
Well, knock on the door. We're not giant bees. We're here to help. I repeat,
That's
we
what
are not
giant bees
giant
would
bees.
say.
We are definitely not giant space bees, although there are some just outside the glass here.
They are big, and they seem to be aware of our general area.
Okay, somebody on the other side, it sounds like a kid goes, "How do we know you're not walking bees?"
Oh no! How do we not know? How do we know if we're not walking bees?
Start dancing.
I start doing the Dougie. I can't do the Dougie.
The professor sees what you're doing and is like, "Oh yeah," and uses their camera phone and films you and then projects it to the screens on the inside of the building. But all the lights are out, so it's not really helping.
Kelly, I don't know if the dancing is helping.
Well,
Gosh, if
you guys
only
can
you had-
ask us.
If only you had those shoes I had once that power up power plants the faster you dance.
Oh, oh, hey, real quick, out of character. Jeff, we
Did
never
you put on the
established.
Sonic shoes before we started this?
Well, I was about to say we never established my items. So if you wanted to, you're like Deus Ex Machina. Oh wait, no, hold on. He's gonna pull out his backpack. But it's like got him right here.
Let's say your ultimate is the just what I needed, and once a game that lets you pull out just the thing you needed for that.
Right.
Okay.
The
So
hand of-
yeah, you pull out the power shoes, but you'll have to unlace your boots to put them on.
Yeah, no problem. And I am imagining platform heels like we'd see in the 70s that disco dancers would
Mhm.
wear. That's literally what I'm imagining.
Cool. There's some purple, some green, some chrome around the soles.
As you're doing this, I'm wetting the reed for my saxophone in case your thing doesn't work.
Tallie,
Bees aren't known for high art.
these are not known for art, but Tallie, I will need a groove. Will you be my
Yeah,
groove
right.
master?
Yeah,
Hell
absolutely.
yes. Okay, so the professor is filming the TikTok,
The
and the
This has
power,
gone
like the
downhill
deck
so
starts to
fast.
glow purple and silver as you Dance
Can,
Dance Revolution.
can I make a suggestion?
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I dance in these sonic shoes, they act as like a disco ball. There's like just like streams of light everywhere, and it
Yes.
gets brighter the more energy I build up by dancing.
Okay, cool. So you see the lights go appear inside the dome that you can see out from outside your little staircase area. And everybody in there starts like going, "Yay, the power's back on." And, "Ooh, wow, who's this?" And it's like,
That's us. Please let us in.
To keep power, I can't stop dancing.
Yeah. No, it's Careless Whisper with like an insane beat.
Right. It's like, hello, I am the clinician, and I can't stop dancing, otherwise we'll lose power. Let's go.
Okay, you hear them scraping as they pull stuff out of the way of the door and then open it up. And sure enough, there's tons of townsfolk in there. They've got like cans and boxes and a Slurpee machine that now that it's working again, they're filling up their thermoses.
Yeah,
Go
important
ahead,
priorities.
Tess.
I was just saying priorities. Also, I want to look around. I don't know what people wear to the robotic space lounge. So I'm just gonna ask if anyone came from there. Space Laser Lounge, sorry.
The professor's like, "Ooh, are those Lush puppies?" And she goes over and gets one. It's a whiskey flavor.
Yeah.
Rogue, I do want Tess's question to be solved. I was gonna say as a joke, this is all I was gonna say is that in order to maintain the energy, has anyone ever seen Saturday Night Fever where they got the scene where like John Travolta's like doing the hand thing, you know? That's just
Yeah.
that's the clinician walking into the room trying to try to go through the door so that he can still dance and get in there at the same time.
Hell yeah. You see one of the kids is in like really cool, like flashy dancer costume, and he just comes around near you and is copying your movements.
All right.
And
But
everybody's way into it.
if I had the rights to music, I'd be playing the actual song right now. This would be pretty funny. Anyway, do you have agave flavored slushies?
Yeah, they have all sorts of syrups for you.
The clinician is a vegan.
All right, you see a sad family in the corner huddled together. They have their luggage and their canary in a cage and their television. There's a dog with 3 ears. And they all look
Do the kids
sad,
look
so
like
you
our
assume they're the
yeah,
dead,
the kids look like the dead
guy's
guy
family.
since we forgot to ask his name. Well, he died before we had a chance, but okay.
I'll say the professor grabbed his ID and she's like, "Is there a Horksman family? Horksman." And she's starting to slur because she has a terrible tolerance for alcohol
Yeah.
as she sucks her slushy down. Horseman family. And the sad lady holds up her hand. And she says, "Oh, there they are. There's the family."
Yeah.
I was sorry. So that's it. I'm so sorry for your loss.
I was imagining her drunk enough that she's just like, "That's the dead guy's family over there." You're like, fuck. No, a
like,
little more tact than that. Yeah.
it was like, yeah, it was like if she did that, I'd just be like, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Yeah, you guys can
Oh,
wait over
don't
here.
mind him. He has to do that to keep the power on.
Hi there. We we met your husband, your dad, out there trying to find help. So we came to get you guys out of here. And
Oh,
everyone, but
you met Purvis?
I'm so
yep.
sorry for the loss of Purvis. He seemed like a good man.
Lost? You lost him?
Uh,
We
I'm a
didn't get
doc.
that far.
You see, unfortunately, I am a doctor. You can call me the clinician, and I tried to save him, but unfortunately, he has passed away from giant space bee stinging. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh no. And
I
they
the
are
thing that's
just devastated.
the thing that's really getting me about the dancing while delivering bad news is that is a thing that happens on TikTok where people are just like, I'm in the ER with my dying child, and you're like, stop dancing.
Please stop.
Please don't dance.
The professor looks at you and like, could you go over there? Kind of points in a different direction.
Yes, sorry. I'm not trying to be. I'm not trying to be inconsiderate. Pardon me. And then he's just gonna like moonwalk away.
Nice.
What a nightmare.
Okay, some kids try to teach you their hot new dances, and you're doing that in the background.
Is this the whip or the day day?
The professor gets down on her one knee and she's like, I'm so sorry for your loss. But I know your husband, Purvis, would want me to help you get to safety. I wonder if you can tell me anything about these space bees and where they came from. The lady says nobody ever saw them until Puppers McGee and his entourage arrived before the tournament.
Did they bring anything with them, or was it just them?
She says, maybe you should ask Tobin, the customs official.
Fair. That's a good lead. And then just to be clear, when she says nobody saw him, does that mean that there were rumblings, but nobody ever saw them, or it was not a problem and then it was a problem?
Oh, no, space bees are a common problem in this part of space.
Yeah.
But they hadn't ever been seen here on Poundtown.
Okay. Yeah, Poundtown was bee free. Okay.
Mm.
No bugs here.
So stupid.
Oh, beehive.
You named it. That's all you.
Beehive.
Yeah, I assume she points out Tobin, so I might I mean, we'll talk to them for a reasonable amount of time and express our condolences, and then we'll go talk to customs.
Okay, cool.
Still trying to keep the energy in a room. I'm so sorry for your loss. I can't imagine what you're going through. It must be hard for you and your family, but you have to stay strong for your kids. He didn't laugh. I did.
Okay, you meet Tobin, who is sloshed. He's got his like customs iPad thing sort of sitting on a bucket next to him, and he's just got like 3 empty slushy cups around him, and he's chewing on a granola bar. The professor says, "Are you Tobin, the customs official?" And he goes, "That's me. Oh, sorry. Oh, geez. I'm not doing too good." He has 2 like elephant-like trunks, and they're
Nice.
flopping around as he talks.
That's kind of fun. We were just looking for some more information about puppers getting here. It seems like that may potentially be related to what's happening. If you have any documentation on your iPad, I'd be happy to just kind of leaf through it.
Oh, yeah, why not? I mean, it's the end of the world. You might as well get me fired, huh? He hands it to you.
Perfect.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I feel like this is
password
easier than
is
asking him. Yeah,
Wasperd. Like
Perf.
password, but you switch the...
That's really good. That's a really good one. I like that a lot. Yeah, I was gonna try to sneak it, but this seemed like it was a plausible way to do this. Plus then I don't have to guess the password. So, yeah, I'll start looking through it. If the clinician or the professor want to ask him any questions, I don't know how much else he'd remember.
Sure. Give me a computers and intelligence. Or
Yep,
no, computers and wit.
even better. Do I get to? No, I don't add anything to health for this. That's just melee.
And based on how many successes you get, you'll learn more.
All right, let's see. Nope, nope. One, a two, a three, two kings and a queen.
Excellent. Not the Queen of Hearts.
Oh, thank you for asking. Nope, Queen of Diamonds. Let me make
Okay.
sure I didn't get the Queen of Hearts. Doesn't matter if I got the Queen of Hearts earlier. I know I got a queen.
No problem.
Nope. No, we're good to go.
You find out that sure enough, the space bees appeared.
Space babies.
The space bees appeared earlier today, about almost exactly 72 hours after the ship arrived. So maybe something came with
Yeah.
them in the cargo, but you don't know why it would have created space bees exactly 3 days later.
My friend the clinician, you know biology. What's the how fast did bees hatch space bees?
The professor says, "Give those shoes to somebody else."
Hold on, I'm thinking. Real quick, if it's okay with you, I do want to do an intelligence and biology check in order to figure out how long it takes for like a swarm of bees to
It's
hatch,
probably not
basically.
that simple, but what if it is?
Right. Um,
Well, they have told you that space bees are a big problem in this area, so you can probably
Yeah.
cross-reference their information.
so I got
Oh, we'll
three.
say you're dancing at a terminal as you investigate.
Well, he's giving some thoughts on that one, to try and figure out like a general time on that frame that I mentioned.
So that's biology and intelligence.
Yeah, let me check something quick. Okay, no, that doesn't apply. All right, so yeah, I'll do intelligence and biology, to see if I can like, even if he doesn't know what the thing about space bees, he might be able to just cross-represent it with like other types of space bees or whatever.
Mhm.
It's 7, so I pull 7, so 1, nope. 10. Sorry, if we play this again, I'm going to buy a real deck. Okay, that's one
It's
success.
only showing you one card at a time.
Yeah, that's part of the issue.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a joke.
A joker.
Yeah, Joker of clubs. Um, I said one success and one joker.
One success and one joker. So you learn that the larval stage of the space bee, if it's exposed to zirconium, which is a space mineral, it takes about 3 days for them to hatch into full-on bees. Zirconium is often used as a decontamination chemical. But that's all you know.
So knowing what I know of space bees, it looks like that maybe it might be a case where someone was smuggling zirconium, which can cause gestation process to increase to 3 days for fully grown bees. Now, my thought here is that maybe if we were to go back to the ship, we're not going to be able to find zirconium, but we may be able to sow an area near the queen, as queens tend to stay wherever they are at, or tend to stay near where they are at when they get to a new area. If we can maybe move the queen off the planet, we might also be able to move the rest of the bees with them.
Yeah, that's a
Huh.
good point. Did the
professor
puppers
says-
bail with the car?
The professor says, great idea. So if we know where the cargo was offloaded, perhaps the queen lives somewhere near there.
That's my
Tobin!
thought. Somewhere.
And she kicks his foot, and he wakes up, and his little trunks swirl about. And he goes, whoa, 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 whoa. Where is the customs cargo loading area from here? And he tells her, and she says, is that where Puppers McGee's ship was? And she says, please give those shoes to someone else.
I have a follow-up question.
Clinician, it's distracting.
You're just gonna look at a random NPC you do not have to name, and like you're the chosen one. Your people rely on you to dance. It's gonna like take off the shoes and give it to him. Dance as
Give
though
it
you're
to
like
who?
a random NPC.
Okay, yeah, you see, yeah,
You
just a
don't have to dance.
mild-mannered
Yeah,
guy in tweed and little glasses.
he's like
He was sort
you.
of bobbing to the music.
He's gonna hand it to him. He's like, "You're the chosen one. Your people rely on you to keep this place going.
Okay.
Their destiny is in your hands."
All right, he slides him on and snaps the space Velcro, and he starts kind of shuffling with his elbows at his sides, just sort of
All right.
Put your hips into it. A
grooving to the beat.
little more hip. More hip. Too much hip.
He's doing great.
Look,
All
you
right,
need
the
to dance at
professor
a.
gives Tobin some anti-drunk pills, and he jumps to his feet and he goes, "This is my fault. I sprayed the larva with zirconium."
Yeah, you wouldn't have known it was there.
Do it. Jeff, with that biology roll, unless you want me to do it again, another not roll. Roll's not the term, but whatever, you know what I mean. For the biology thing that I just did, would I know the type of habitat that space bees like to build nests or hives in?
Yeah, it's dark, enclosed. It's not too cold. There's got to be biological material to make the walls out of. So probably some kind of solid waste area.
So he's gonna look
or a
over it.
biomass kind of gathering place.
He's gonna look over Tobin. Tobin, space bees tend to set up in places near. Sorry, I'm still trying to get the groove off. Some place of mild temperature with a lot of biomass near there. Is there any place you could think of near the spaceport where that might happen? Like a waste center, as an example.
Oh, yeah, we've got our big greenhouse. Poundtown is known for it,
Mhm.
where all our composted materials go there and is broken down by the busy beaver bacterias.
Mhm.
Yeah, my son Patsy lives down there. He might be around. Maybe I should give him a call and see if he's seen anything strange happening.
God, this could get very sad. But yeah, probably you should call.
Yeah, it's probably. I don't have high hopes.
The professor
gonna be a
hands him
horrifying
her
question.
phone and tells him how to get an outside line, and he calls.
Just have
and then
very
you
low
see-
standards.
You see Tobin's son appears in the hologram, and he's like looking around. He's like, "What is this? Where am I?" And Tobin's like, "You're up here in the top of the artificial sun tower. Oh, wow. There's a weird light coming from the base of it."
Don't worry about that.
Oh, really?
Don't worry about that.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we need to know if you've seen or heard anything strange happening near the biomass collection unit under the greenhouse. And he says, "Well, I ran away from work pretty fast when the space bees showed up, but there sure were a lot of them, and they seem to be coming out of every vent. and I smelled the busy bee bacteria byproduct C.
Right,
There
the
was quite a
BBBC.
high concentration.
Not byproduct B. That's fair.
The BBBC, right.
Mhm. All right, so it sounds like we found our hive, more or less, right?
I think you're right,
Indeed.
Tallie.
The professor looks at Dean and looks at Tallie. Dean, what's your character? Oh, clinician. Looks at
The
clinician
clinician, yeah.
and at Tallie. And she says, I think this is a time for the time space warp unifier. And she taps her bracelet and the portal appears around you. But it got a little bit too big and snagged Tobin and the dancing kid.
Oh shit.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
not
you
the
know.
dancing shoes guy.
Okay, that's good.
Oh, thank God.
And you're in a
But,
random hallway somewhere.
all right, dancing child, you're now the new chosen one. Your people will rely on you.
He hugs your leg. He's like, "Well, I'm scared."
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Can we hear the bees in any one direction? Love that band.
You hear a heavy buzzing that seems like if there were hundreds of thousands all
Mhm.
right nearby.
Fantastic. They're everywhere in the vents.
Very loud. The walls are shaking.
Oh, great. Okay, great.
I might have an idea.
Yeah.
Tobin starts shouting. Did I give his son a name?
No.
Tobias. Tobin and Tobias.
I feel like I gave him a name.
You probably
Nibbit.
did.
Hork nuts.
That's it.
There you go.
Hork
No,
nuts.
no notes.
The doctor says, "Aren't you still on the phone with him?" "Oh yeah, Hork nuts. Hey, we're in hallway PZ Squash. Where are you?"
Canadians.
And he says, "I'm at Renetta's house, which is on P12 Kumquat."
Mhm.
"Oh, I know where that is. I'll be right there." And Tobin
Perfect.
leads you all.
I have an idea.
Yep. Let's hear it while we walk or run.
The kid asks if he can climb on your shoulders.
Absolutely not. These shoulders are for one person, and that's my friend Tallie.
Well, I can't put him on my shoulders, so you're gonna have to.
No, I'm saying I put you on my shoulder.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay. No.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, you don't have to. I won't force you to. I respect your autonomy, but like,
I'm not gonna make this kid be on the ground while I'm on your shoulders after he
All right.
wanted to be up safe.
fine, come on. It's gonna pick up the child. All right, hold on. So, bees tend to be very protective of their young. And I'm suggesting is we hold on. I want to make sure that the joke works. Oh, well, yeah, there we go. They're very protective of their young. So we want to get the queen out of there. And we have the ability to move through space, as it turns out. So what if we were to take one of the pupas, steal one of the spaceships, take it into space with the pupa, and then using our ability to move through space through her device, we just allow the spacecraft to drift in space, which the queen will follow, which means the rest of the hive will follow with it.
So we steal a spaceship.
Yeah, we pupa nap.
And put the pupa in it.
Right.
Send that away from the station, and the space bees will follow.
Yes, the idea is that the queen will follow the pupa. We're gonna pupa nap.
Yeah,
And
he really wants you to appreciate that.
Clinician,
That's
that's brilliant.
the crux of this.
And the kid's like, "But won't its mommy be sad?"
Well, they'll be together soon, and then they won't be sad anymore.
Screw them kids.
Professor puts earmuffs around the kids' ears.
No, he just learned real words. Oh, but that way,
Okay,
not
so you meet up with Tobin's kid, Horknuts,
Mark nuts.
and he hands out flashlights, and he says, "I got some earmuffs, so we don't have to hear that buzzing so much." And he hands those out. They're all like fun, bright colors.
Sweet. I take the
Finish
purple.
this good. Is on.
The professor's like, "Ooh, I want lime green."
Yeah.
And then she hands a little red pear to the kid. "My name's Rizzo."
What?
It's good to have you here, Rizzo.
"My
What?
name's Rizzo." He shouts.
You've got Riz? Is that what you said?
"That's what they say." And he strikes a pose.
All right.
Okay, so Tobin's son draws you a map, and Tobin and Horknuts wave goodbye. "Have fun storming the biomass reclamation center."
Yeah.
What?
Okay, we'll cut to you three coming out of a hatch amidst
Sorry.
just this terrible smell of goopy, wasp papery lair. And you see a bunch of walking space bees off to several different
Oh, God.
directions, glooping up the waste matter and chewing it, and then splurping out the white paste as cream on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you could say this is the first time I've seen this.
You see like a giant pile of thousands of pupaes, and in front of it, between you and it, are like 6 just fat as hell walking bees sitting on like camp seats, and they're playing cards with what looks like a sentient French bulldog.
Quick question. I just want to
No.
double check. So, yeah, that's weird. Quick question. Rizzo is with us. Is that correct?
You probably would leave the kid there with
With
Tobin,
Tobin
unless you
No.
really need a kid on this mission.
No, we really don't. That's what I was double checking.
Opposite of what we need.
Literally, my joke is to be like, and for some reason we brought him with us. No, yeah, I haven't left him with Tobin.
Okay, cool.
It's like, all right. I don't know why there's a giant French bulldog, but we need to get them all out of here.
The professor is like, "Poppers McGee? What's he doing down here?"
The betrayal.
I know. What would he even have to gain? Well, I mean, he would stay safe and they would eliminate the local population. This sucks.
He's not a good boy.
No. Not a good boy. Anyone have like a shock collar?
Does anyone have a giant? Wait, can I pull out the giant newspaper and roll it up into a big like?
Yep.
You're gonna roll up the giant newspaper to spank Poppers McGee?
Bop him on the nose. Yeah.
Mhm. This is
you're
so
rolling
upsetting.
up the paper, and the professor's like, "I don't know if violence is called for in this situation."
It's not real violence. It's bad dog.
I do think we could start with talking, but the clinician is correct. This is the lowest form of violence we could do.
Well,
Do we want to
talking
try
is my
talking?
specialty. Are either of you good at sneaking?
Yeah.
Eh,
Am I grabbing the pupa?
Grab the pupa
we
and
should.
take it to the spaceport, which is, and she turns the map upside down. She says, "It's go back down the hatch, run west 3 clicks and northwest 2, and then up, and you're there."
So here's
Sweet.
here's the hard part. We want them to know that the pupa were taken, and I don't think one would be enough to move what looks like 3 queens. So we might all need to be grabbing a pupa.
Oh no, those aren't the queens. Those are clearly drones because they're
Goons.
like fat and not working and drinking beers. You know.
Oh, okay, yeah. So we need to. I still think we should grab multiple
Vaping,
Disney.
probably.
Oh man, they're sick. Those guys are sick. They're fucking cool.
Should not let dogs vape.
They're ripping clouds though. Look at that. That one did circles.
Fucked
He's
up.
got a ring. They fucking rule.
Yeah, I mean, I can grab a few. The fun thing about that is danger.
Yes, they will
But
be
yeah.
chasing us.
Fantastic.
I do have anti-pupper weaponry though.
You
Well,
still have your
yeah.
foam gun, Dean.
True. I can. I am armed to the teeth against puppers and bees.
Oh, and you have your big newspaper. Okay. So
yeah.
you're the muscle and the professor is the face. Okay. So you're going to be providing a distraction at least.
Well,
And
I would say I'm going to work with the professor to give Tallie enough time to grab a pupa, but eventually want them to actually see that the pupa has been taken so that they actually do chase after us.
We could just leave a ransom note.
Now,
I can get in and out.
I have no doubt in my mind that puppers can read a ransom note, but the bees, do you think bees can read?
Yeah, probably.
Okay,
They can read the cards they're playing.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, we can do that.
okay, so the professor pats you on the shoulder, clinician, and steps forward to engage the drones.
I'm going to be her muscle. You got this, Tallie.
Yeah.
All right, drones. What's the meaning of all this fuss?
Gonna point the rolled up newspaper at the dog. Bad dog.
Puppers falls off the back of his camp chair and then pokes up over the back of it, and his ears are like all cute and wide, and his eyes just look like so put upon and concerned.
He could have gone down as one of the greats, but
what was that?
he could have gone down as one of the greats in making sports, but instead we're dealing with this.
He was the great straw ball and just kind of ruined his chances.
But anyway.
So the drones look from him to the professor and back, and they say, "Are you one of those?" And Puppers is like, "No, there's only one of me. I'm the greatest sports promoter in the 12 systems of Ponali.
And a bad boy.
How dare you? I am the consort to Her Royal Highness." Oh.
Just like on the nose. Bop.
Oh, man. I'm going to need an athletics, or no, I guess melee and brawn.
Luckily, I do have something. I'm not the best at it, but I do have something.
I'll give you a +1 for a giant newspaper.
Sounds great. Melee is 2, brawn is 2. So I got 4. Let's do this.
4 plus
Plus
1.
one.
+1 because you're healthy, so
right.
6.
Okay. Oh, and +1 from the bonus you're giving me. From the roll.
Yeah, that's the first of the +1s.
Okay.
Right. So you'll get 6 altogether.
Okay. So I just rolled it. I just got a 10. Nope. Another 10. So that's 2.
Does a 10 count? Shit. Thought it was just face cards. Oh, then I've been doing better than I've been letting on.
Oh.
Oh, no.
I haven't really failed at anything, so it doesn't really change it, but
10 face card and ace.
that makes sense.
3 successes in total.
3 successes. I think he narrowly dodges unless you use a drive.
I mean, we're getting to the climactic side of the story. It might be a good idea to go ahead and use a drive. I'll go ahead and mark one off. Right, and it gives me another card.
Yeah.
God, sorry, I got a 3, so yeah.
It's worth a shot.
Any more drive, or you could use a hero point.
Yeah, I'll do a hero point.
All right, yeah, you do a little flourish. Whoop-ap! Bounces off his nose, and he goes rolling. And he pops up, and there's like a big tear welling up in the corner of his eye.
Bad
So
boy.
upsetting.
Well, he's
Bad.
out of your range for the
No.
moment.
He's pointing. He's like shaking it at him. But basically, what he's doing. Bad dog. Bad.
One of the drones gets up and he says, "Why are you hitting the queen's new boyfriend?"
Because he's a very bad boy. Bad boy.
"What did he do?" And the professor is like, "Never mind what he did. His successes on the strawball court are not what is at issue here. I would like to see your leader and explain to her how ravaging this town is not a good idea."
We want to speak to your manager.
Okay, she's going to try to persuade. Oh, Jesus.
That actually would work great too, because then she can just tell the queen that we've taken the babies.
She persuades them, but gets a joker, so I'm going to bank that one as well. So now I have 2 jokers banked.
Yay.
That's not good.
No.
Okay, Tess,
both
you're
of
going to
them, yeah.
sneak.
Yes, I am. While this is happening and they're all, drunkenly asking why we're abusing a dog, I'm gonna sneak and get a little pupa and get out of there. And yeah, I'll leave a note. I figure they'll probably tell the queen themselves, but it can't hurt.
Okay, you have to get 2 successes.
All right, and it's agility or wits.
Ooh.
They're both the same, so either one works. I don't know
Agility
why I
and
asked.
sneaking.
Okay. All right. Ha, 1. It's a little possum wearing glasses. 2. Okay, that's all the queens but the hearts, so 2. Did I have to meet a 2 or beat a 2?
You just needed 2. So
Okay.
yeah, you get a big fat pupa, you go over to the hatch and you climb down. So you're good to go as long as you don't run into any bees on the way.
I will continue to be sneaky as I go through. So if there is a bee, I could hopefully perform another little sneak check because I'm small,
Okay.
I'm low to the ground. I'm, I'm sneaking.
Okay. All right. So yeah, Puppers is just squatting there looking so embarrassed and sad. And the drones now all 4 have stood up and they're enormous and they loom over you, Dean. And the professor is like, "Well, if nobody's going to tell me, I'm just going to go this direction." And she hares off towards the giant pile of biomass goop.
So good call. Yeah.
I'm gonna follow, but keep the rolled up newspaper pointed at Pupper specifically as we're walking away.
Okay. He trots along in your wake, and the 4 drones do as well.
Stay.
Okay, this is intimidation. It's just persuasion and brawn. And I'll give you +1 for your newspaper.
Yay. Do I have anything in persuasion? I have nothing in persuasion. I have 2 in brawn. Fantastic.
So 3 cards.
I don't think I even have 3. Oh, right. +1. Yeah. Well, I just rolled an ace, a king, and a 10. What the fuck?
That's 3 successes.
Out of 3. I literally could not get any higher.
Well, no, you already used your Queen of Hearts, so yeah, you couldn't have.
Okay. He sits down and behaves himself, but as soon as you turn your back and start marching over the glompy goop, he tears ass around the pile, and you don't notice because you're focused on all the crap you're walking over.
Okay.
You know, banana peels and all managed coffee grounds and weird foods you've never seen before. And it smells so nasty. But finally, you get over to the top and you see there's this fancy throne room made out of all like luxury items scavenged from around the station. And Puppers is like whispering to a giant queen bee who's lounging on like a tanning bed, and she's sipping out of a giant crazy straw, some kind of glowing purple goo.
I remember my days drinking Glorpulus. I wanted to make up a fake name too, okay?
Glorpulus.
Glorpulus.
It's like royal jelly, but in a Slurpee form.
But it's
I was trying
Glorpulus
to-
flavored.
I was trying to think of what ridiculous phrase would be on the bendy straw, and unfortunately, in today's day and age, it would just say queen bee.
Yeah.
But it was not intended for large bees. It actually was just meant for ladies.
I was also gonna shoot for live, laugh, live, laugh, buzz.
Let's get buzzed. That's a koozie.
Yeah,
That's not
there
a
we
straw.
go.
Okay, so
Anyway.
as the two of you come down over the pile of goop, she squirts out another larva, and a hunched over like blind bee picks up the larva and walks it away to some sort of birthing chamber.
Still
Professor,
got
I
to get
have
its little footprint. Yeah.
right. Professor, I have another idea.
You better tell it to me quick before something terrible happens to us.
So the bees on our planet, they communicate via scent, but also dance.
I like where your head is at. Shall we do like they do on the Discovery Channel?
Damn it.
I don't think that is what you think that is. I was gonna do the time of your life dance, I've had the time of your life. That's all I can sing for
Oh.
comparisons.
Oh, from Dirty Dancing.
Dirty dancing, yes. Fantasy dirty dancing.
That
Don't
was
come
a
from
sad story in amongst all the dancing and happiness.
Yes. All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this.
So I'll be Swayze and you're Jennifer Grey.
That's what I was thinking.
Between the
Oh,
5'8" woman and the 6'3" man, yes, I have the Jennifer Grey.
Let's do it. All right. So we're going to need a perform and agility check.
Don't fail me now.
Yeah. And what is the message you're hoping to convey here? Confusion?
Despondency, kind of giving up on the city.
I'm trying to think of a good reason to use this. So I have two thoughts. It's either just distracting enough for Tally to get out, or to be blunt but also mistaken. It's like, we have one of your pupa. If you do not leave, you may never see it again. But if you do, we'll return it to you. So I'm trying to I'm juggling between the two.
Cool. So in and amongst the Dirty Dancing dance, you're also pretending to be a pupa, and the doctor is grabbing you and taking you away.
And that
I feel like
represents
it
the
lends
ship.
itself pretty well to the dance. Yeah.
Yeah, and the lifting up part, that represents the child being removed from the planet out of a spaceship.
Yeah, he lifts you up at some point. Yeah, it's real sexy.
And then
she, the professor.
And that's
Okay, so perform and agility.
All right,
Or is
it's
it
only
charm. What's better for you?
Agility is better than charm, but I have nothing to perform, so it's gonna be. It's. Can I hold up? I have an idea. I am telekinetic.
Oh.
So can I use telekinesis to aid in my dance?
Yeah, so we'll do telekinesis and charm.
Oh no, not sure. Okay, that's fine. It's still
Um,
better than what I was doing previously. So
yeah, you're doing the sexy part, and the professor is doing the conveying the information part,
all right.
which she did very badly. So it's all on you.
I've only drawn one Joker right now, right? It sounds about
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just drew another one.
Well, now you're done.
Oh,
That's the last of
no.
them.
And no successes.
Okay, so the queen
So just adopted a child.
is impressed by your performance and is starting to realize what the doctor is talking about, and she stands up and hands her Slurpee to Puppers. And then one of the blind bees rushes in and is like, and it clearly is conveying that some human took the baby, and
Well, I'm a mole
she-
person, but yeah.
she looks at you very suspiciously, and she got a Joker too, so I'm going to nullify your Joker. However, I have 2 Jokers from before,
Mhm.
and you see like she starts to bulk up with anger, and then purple glorpulus starts coming out through her exoskeleton, and there's this weird bubbly gurgling noise that's happening, and all over she starts pulsating and bulking up as the glorpulus reacts with her love juices.
Don't love
Disgusting.
that. Yeah, I hate that. I hated
That's
that.
a nightmare.
I don't look at it.
She bulks up to 3 times her size. Pops out several pupies at once, and they immediately turn into bees full of anger and fire, literal fire.
Oh no.
And she grows several more arms, and it's mega boss battle time.
Hey, Professor. Well, because I imagine like that this scene happens after we do the iconic like up in the air thing, right?
Yes.
So it's like still in the air. Is gonna look down at the professor. Hey, Professor, I think we might want to run.
She kind of waggles her bracelet up at you, and you
Yes,
see a green light flashing off and on.
Yeah, let's leave before we die.
She's like holding you, and she's starting to lose her ability to keep
Oh,
you
right,
up. And
right,
she's
right,
like,
right.
Push the button.
He's just gonna reach over and
Okay, the portal appears underneath you. You're back in the field office, and she runs over. She starts twisting knobs and dials. We cut back, and we see Tallie pop out into the shuttle bay room through a cloud of fucking biomatter goop. And now there's like petroleum smell kind of dripping
Yeah,
all
it's gonna
over
be a
you.
long shower after that. Yeah.
And you see a shuttle, and you see some guys like just shoving in loot. They're clearly looters that came from somewhere else. And you see a box sitting next to their ship with like room for a larva if you want to.
Look, to be fair, they could have accidentally grabbed the larva themselves, so I don't feel that bad. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in there.
Totally fair, yeah.
Okay. You pop it
Look,
in there.
the moral of the story is if you don't want to get attacked by a queen bee, don't go looting.
Yeah.
One of them comes over to the box and sees you, and he jumps back and holds up his big red dwarf blaster, points it at you.
I don't want him to kill this larva because that would be worse.
You don't think
I,
he's seen it yet.
no, I kind of want to just skitter away.
Okay.
Like look him in the eye and just be like, nope. Because I feel like
Okay.
it's gonna be loud and more trouble than it's worth to come after me if I've already been like, nope, it's yours. You go with it. Yep, nope, sorry. I like put down, close the box, like I'm like not worth the trouble, and then I just
I see
stick it
Okay,
what you
out there.
did
nice.
there. I see what you
All
did
right.
there. Yeah.
He shoots a warning shot past you
Yeah.
as you flee. You run up the stairs and into some control room or whatever. And
Hmm.
they load up the rest of the boxes and the ship starts powering up and this turret pops out of the top of the ship. It just starts blasting shit just to be a
Yeah.
dick.
Yeah, you know,
Uh, and
kind of fun. I get it.
as that's happening, the portal appears, and the doctor is like peering around, trying to figure out what's going on out there. Dean, I believe this is where your as moment takes place.
Yeah. I'm just sticking my head through the portal.
Okay, you pop out of the sky and land on your back,
Ugh.
and sort of under the shuttle as it's getting ready to leave.
This would be more endearing if you didn't keep hurting yourself doing it.
You know, I had to do the meme. All right, let's get you out of here.
The portal reorients and sits down on the right, facing next to you, and she steps out and she looks down at you like, what is your deal? And yeah, the ship turns its turret and blasts at the blast door protecting the station, and it rips out, and all the oxygen is starting to get sucked out. And the doctor grabs you, looks around, and just goes back into the portal. And there's no wind effects or anything there. So all this cargo and shit is being sucked out into space. And then here comes all these bees coming from vents all over the place. Walking bees run up and jump, and giant wings come out of their backs, and they shoot out into space. And then the queen rises up, and there's just all these pupa hanging off her, and they're all just sucking away at the glorpulus juice.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
yeah, there's this weird warp bubble, and it's gone.
So as we're standing there, I was like, did you put the pupa in a box? I'm presuming with the people who smuggled that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
In fact, they told me to leave it.
you
They
know,
wanted to keep it.
I'm not saying you did the wrong thing. I am pointing out that we probably sentenced them to death, but also like this would have happened were it not for them. So I guess it kind of equals out. So
They might drop it somewhere.
I don't think they know they have it.
Yeah, we cut to 3 looters in spacesuits, like just sort of bobbing there with like cargo floating around them, and the ship that with all these space bees glommed onto it is like landing on a planet somewhere. And we cut
Well,
back to the professor, and she helps you up, and you meet up with Tallie, and the blast doors came down, and oxygen pressurized the chamber. Everything's good.
all gang, another venture done.
Yeah,
That's
did
not
all the bees leave?
The professor does a little scan. She's like, "Not one bee left.
that's
We
not
did it, guys."
We
huzzah.
did it, guys.
Let's not think about where those bees went and just happy about their current situation.
Hey, we should do one of our classic handshake dances.
Yes.
Yep.
And she's like,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
she does a little cartwheel.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And music kicks on. The power's back on. And extras come out. They're flash mobbing. You don't know where they were hiding.
Right.
They're in their like work uniforms.
And we're all dancing in a synchronized dance. One big synchronized dance. Yeah.
Classic.
Oh yeah, and the guy you gave the shoes to is coming out.
Now
and
he's
there's
there,
light
yeah.
flashing everywhere. Everywhere he walks, like lights get brighter, and
And
terminals start singing.
Also he's got his clothing has changed. He's now in like bell bottoms and a nice sweet jacket.
He's so much more confident in
Yes.
himself
yeah.
now. Yeah.
ever since
Oh,
becoming the chosen
yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't know what happened to Puppers McGee though.
Yeah, that's a to be continued. That's a
That's a
post-credit scene.
that is a post-credit scene without a doubt.
Puppers.
Peppers. He's gonna come back in the sequel with the missing eye and just like what
We
like
get a new
scars. Like,
newspaper every month.
yeah, we'll come back next month.
The sad family's still sad because their dad got turned into goop.
Yeah, the
so-
dad doesn't
Yeah,
get ungooped, so
there's no way.
that's
Yeah,
fair. But his
that's.
death wasn't in vain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The little kid is going to be adopted by Tobin and
That's so
Hork
nice.
Nuts.
Father and
I
son
think
raising.
that's a good trio.
Yeah,
That'll
two
be
to-
their own sitcom later if we do spin-off
Yeah.
media.
right,
Yeah, absolutely.
Friday nights with pork nut and toast. TGIH, they got its torsions.
If I went to work and you went to work, who picked him up from school?
Oh wait, Q what was that that Larry David show, the theme, yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Well, all's well that ends well, right? The professor says.
Try
Mhm.
Professor.
Sorry we couldn't see the game.
And she has a cup of tea, and you see she squirts some purple honey into it. And
Oh,
stirs it with her finger.
Oh, Professor. Roll the credits.
Yeah, it's fresh.
She sips it, and she makes a weird sour face. And then we get one of those kind of swoopy in where it goes to black, and it ends on her face, and she goes, "Ah," and mugs a little, and then it's off.
Excellent.
Well, that
Beautiful.
was that. Professor
was
Violetta
great.
Springfield and her friends.
That's fantastic.
Welcome to our obviously more cartoony episode, and I was here for it.
Likes. Did you have anything? Oh, this is where we find out. We give hero points to our colleagues. So if Tess did something you thought was really good, she gets a hero point. Likewise.
I liked how cartoonish you got, Dean.
Thank you.
Telling Puppers to stay was just fantastic. And then Puppers moving the second you took his eyes off him, also classic.
Yeah. Oh man, sorry. It's been a day for me. I didn't get good sleep last night. Tess, you did a great job today. Mostly because you ran with a bunch of bullshit that I was doing.
Only way to do it.
I was being a cartoon character, so I appreciate the support in that. But no, like always. But also like I would throw jokes out there, and like the reciprocated wit coming from Tally was really funny. So I appreciated that, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Well, I appreciate Space Kings for having this random table, but boy, it made it weird. The last one I pulled was A Strange Planet Has Regrets, and I just made that The Dog Has Regrets.
Well,
but yeah.
or the planet that
it was
decided to
fun.
let the looters in. They would have a bad time as well.
No.
Oh, but that's why the mayor broke the glass on the artificial sun because of some card
okay.
I pulled.
Yeah, fair. I like the artificial sun.
Well, that was fun. If we play again, do you have any wishes, things you'd like to explore?
I will say no, but that's because this feels episodic, if you will. Like it's like a cartoon where something happened, the same characters, right? But something different
You can
happens
just
in
jump
every
in
episode.
wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
like the random, not role, but the random like event happening thing, I think can work for that kind of like filler, not filler.
I know. Is there a time period in Earth history that you might be interested in? Well, keep
Honestly,
in
all of them are
mind,
fun.
drop it in the Discord if you think of any listener. If you want to email us to tell us where these wacky kids should go next, that would be at omniversalescapades at
Yeah.
gmail.com.
Yeah.
And we're also, do you want to give our socials, Dean?
Yeah.
If
So
we have any?
if you saw this in the stream and you liked it, or if you're watching this later on YouTube, feel free to follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Omniversal Escapades. We also do have a YouTube. It's youtube.com/Omniversal Escapades. And you can use that to check out the YouTube for past episodes, the one shots we've done and stuff like that, or our current ongoing series of Wayward Vagabonds. If you want to stay up to date to like things we do as a group, you can follow us on our various social medias. At Blue Sky and Twitter, it's Omniversal ESC. For everything else, it's Omniversal Escapades. And yeah, that's where you can follow us if you want. We're also on TikTok. I had to think about that one under Omniversal Escapades. So if you want to see occasional clips that we put out there, and by occasional I mean like one time after like 4 months of nothing. So
The second one could be coming at any time. You got to keep an eye out.
yeah. Stay up to date. Like, subscribe, hit the smash bicon. Bicon? That's by icon.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the show, the show's socials. I'm gonna toss it to people to go ahead and do their socials real quick. Tess, I'm gonna let you go ahead and go first.
You can find me on Twitch at Tess is watching Twitch. Twitter is Tess is super cool. Blue Sky, I believe, is the same. Tess is on Insta. Just type in Tess is on wherever you are and see if you can find me. Otherwise, if you like looking at home cooked meals, you can go to Meals from the Basement. I've been on a weird stint lately of making leftovers into breakfasts, so we can continue that saga. The stir fry omelet was better than you can imagine.
Oh, nice.
Mm.
Jeff.
Yes, I do a podcast, Shattered Worlds RPG. It's a sci-fi space opera thing with robots and zombies and magic and all sorts of starship-related fun. And one of our most recent episodes, I think it is our most recent at this point, Tess appeared and played interplanetary super pirate Violent Pam.
Extremely fun.
Nice.
And it was fantastic. She plotted a coup against the other supervillain on our show.
Nice.
So that was really exciting. And I've just been editing Kyle's response, who's the what do you call it, cult leader that she was plotting against. So that's really fun. I also do Everything is Awesome with Jeff and Question Mark. It's my interview show. So find out listen to all manner of interesting writers and comedians and musicians, and learn more about me on all the socials at El Jefe Tacoma. I think that's it. Oh, The Great and Secret Knowledge, a speculative fiction podcast, which Dean has been on. It's a deep dive into all manner of sci-fi and fantasy, weird fiction, horror movies that are supernatural. And it's a real delight. We're going to do Star Trek The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We've done the pilot, and we're moving on to Where No One Has Gone Before, which is a Wesley Crusher episode, and I'm really excited about it.
Extremely fun.
Very nice. This is my only real content creation. You can also follow me on TikTok if it doesn't get taken down tomorrow at Internet Putts.
We got another 75 days, I heard.
Oh, okay, cool. I don't
Kicking that can down the road.
Yeah, just push it back further, I guess. But I don't really do a lot of content creation beside this. But if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Kikistine under every platform. I get lucky; no one wants that name, probably because it's kind of dumb. I am also taking a bit of a hiatus from social media in general, so I don't post a whole lot, but I do post about this show. So it's another way to stay informed if you want to stay informed. Um, and they are not here, but you can also follow our other host who normally is here, Calzones, excuse me, or sometimes no underscore. They're pretty funny. They're pretty great. That's who I copied with the face in the portal thing. 'Cause
Yes.
it's a very ass thing to do, and I felt like it was missing if it did happen at least once. But yes, that's where I am at right now with social media. I don't know. I might try more content creation, but it's very sporadic because my schedule is all over the place. So, but yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. Hey Jess, since you were the dungeon master or game master this time, do you want to lead us out?
Yeah. Take care of each other. Live big dreams. And always be buzzing.
Hey, Pussin.
Boom.
Don't forget your glorpulus.
Yeah, suck that stuff down. It's purple, so you know it's good.
Yep.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.